Hello, my name is Lisa. Welcome to our virtual class today. I'll be taking you on a journey in active yoga. So we're going to begin by coming down to a seated position on the mat. So get into a comfortable position. Today in practice, I'm not going to use any extra equipment, but if you have a block or a pillow or a bolster that will help keep you comfortable, feel free to just sit on that bolster block to get you a little bit more comfortable if the hips aren't quite open just yet. We start with our legs crossed, but if you'd like to extend those legs out in front, feel free to do that as well. So as we're settling ourselves, just kind of pull the fleshy part away from underneath and allow those sit bones to connect to the mat. Let's get tall through our spine. So as we contract the pelvic floor, we want to draw the navel in and lift the rib cage. Nice and tall here. Head is gently balanced over our shoulders, and then just relax. Relax your arms, rest your hands on top of your knees. Whether you choose to practice today with your eyes open or closed as we're seated and still, feel free to do so. If your eyes are open, just simply rest your gaze forward on the horizon. We start with the breath. So just take a slow breath in through the nose. And maybe the first initial few breaths or so, just want to exhale through the mouth. So let that breath go. Your body knows when to take its next breath. And as you're getting a little bit more still and a little bit more calm, gently close the lips and begin to breathe in and out through the nose. Take that deep breath in. Let the breathing be natural, comfortable in your body. If you'd like to practice today by using a whisper breath, on the exhalation, we take a slight constriction at the back of the throat. Very gentle, very subtle. Just listen to the sound of that breath resonate through the body. That breath sounds very oceanary, very soft, not forced. Perhaps now, as we've been taking multiple breaths here, pay attention to that in-breath. As it deepens, we feel the chest expand. And on the out-breath, notice the pleasure as we release that breath. Let it go, get to the bottom of that breath, and then take that next cycle of breath. Give yourself a few more breaths at your own pace. Maybe at this time, just set an intention for practice. Maybe it's we showed up today, we're here on our mats, and just be present. On our next breath in, let's engage some movement. So breathe in, extend those arms overhead, clasp the hands, lace up the fingers, and as we exhale, lift the chest, press the palms away from the body, draw the elbows back. Take another breath, and on the exhalation, lower your right hand to the mat and give yourself a reach to the other side. Inhale, right arm to the sky. Exhale, left hand lands, and a gentle side bend to the other side. Breathe in. So in our first mountain, we're a little bit more dynamic here, connecting breath with movement, keeping our hips anchored to the mat, and just move at your own pace. That could be faster or slower than my pace. So just find the rhythm of the breath. Let's do this one more time to each side. And then gently release that right arm and just give a little turnaround through the shoulders, loosening up those shoulders. If we are taking care of any particular areas in the body that just need some extra care, please be gentle as we practice today. Go ahead and change directions. As we quiet the movement through the shoulders, take a little turnaround from the wrists. Relax your hands and your fingers. And then change directions on another breath out. And then just gently shake out those hands. Put a smile into your practice today. All right, so we're gonna uncross the legs and we're gonna come into horse stance. So I'm gonna ask you to come into your hands and your knees, spread your fingers, see the space between your fingers, knees under hips, and let's slide the toes away from the body. Nice and long through the spine here. So the neck is a nice extension of our spine. We're looking and gazing down towards the mat, just ahead of our fingertips. We're gonna move through cat and cow. So take a nice big breath in and let's extend the spine coming into cow. On our exhalation, start at the tailbone, tucking it, flexing our spines, eyes go with us. Come into cat. Breathe in again. Extend into cow, and then exhale, move into cat. This is a great way to build some desired heat in preparation for our practice. It's a great way to connect to the breath and the movement. So we start to create some mobility through the spine. Take it at our own pace today. Take breaks whenever you need to in practice. And let's move through cat and cow one more time. So take a deep breath in. Find that big cat back stretch and just hold it up at the top here. Breathe into the back. Take another breath. And on the exhale, release and come into a nice neutral position back in horse stance. Let's extend that right hand to the top of the mat and that left leg to the back of the mat. So right thumb up, toes down. Take another breath, stay still, and we're gonna try to lift that arm and leg away from the mat, coming into spinal balance. So we wanna be still here. We wanna close that left hip, put some action down through that left arm, press into the pads of the fingertips. Nice and long, we reach through the crown of the head, reach through the fingertips, reach through the toes, take one more breath, and then lower down. Let's transfer that weight to the other side. So feel the weight shift. Left arm to the top, right leg to the back. Same opportunity here. On a new breath, come up. We lift the arm no higher than the shoulder and the leg no higher than the hip. So squeeze the glutes. Try to prevent yourself from rolling that hip open. Be still as we move the breath. Take one more breath. And on the exhalation, gently lower down. Let's bring the big toes together. Open the knees just a little bit wider and ease ourselves back into extended child's pose. So come into this pose and scrub your hips a little bit. Move a little bit here. Let's just breathe and move. We're going to open up those hips. We're stretching out the shoulders a little bit. You can even soften your elbows and just bring your forehead to the mat. And if it's not getting down to the mat, simply make a fist. Rest the forehead on the fist. But I just want you to take a deep breath and let it go. On our next breath in, we're going to come forward from our extended child's pose to plank from the knees. So we're going to reset the knees about hips width apart, brace the belly strong, shoulders are just slightly forward of the wrist, and on our next exhalation, bend the elbows, lower the chest, come into crocodile. Chest stops at elbow height. Let's set the hips down, squeeze the glutes, and roll those shoulders back. Elbows reach to the back of the mat. Take a new breath and lift the chest off the mat. Find your cobra. Exhale, gently release, flex the hips, and push back into extended child's pose. Let's do that with a little bit more flow. So inhale, come forward into plank. Exhale, lower to crocodile. Breathe in, extend your body into cobra. Exhale, release, and come back into extended child's pose again. Take a new breath. Walk the hands over to the right side of your mat. On the exhalation, as if you're pulling that left hip down and away from the reach. Roll a new breath up the left side of the body, and then allow that breath to just walk its way back down the left side of the body. Breathe in and cross those hands over to the left side of the mat. Exhale, draw that right hip down and away. Move another breath up the right side of the body. And then exhale, let it come back down the right side of the body. Inhale, walk those hands back on top of the mat, about shoulder width apart, center yourself. Let's curl the toes under, lift the hips to the sky, and bring ourselves into our first downward facing dog. So the first one, we're gonna walk the dog, just pedaling our feet, maybe moving the hips, shaking the head out a little bit. Let the head be comfortable between the upper arms. There should be a window between the knees for us to look through. And as we're pedaling our feet, we're warming our feet, our ankles, the lower legs here. Just a good morning stretch or a good day stretch to our bodies. Take another breath and gently reach through those heels. Don't move your feet or your hands just to get the heels down. So if we need a little more knee bend, if those hamstrings aren't quite awake yet, take that knee bend into your down dog. As you're moving and warming up, perhaps that may lengthen out a little bit more with a little less knee bend as we move through our practice. On our next breath in, let's tuck the chin, come forward into plank. So squeeze the glutes. We can drop to the knees if we'd like. Otherwise, on the next breath out, lower yourself to crocodile. Take a new breath, push through the hands, draw the chest through the shoulders, and come into upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, come back into downward facing dog again. Let's try that with a little bit more breath and flow. So inhale ourselves to plank, exhale to crocodile. Breathe in, spread those collarbones out, find up dog, and then exhale to down dog. And a little bit of movement here again, if it feels good to do just that. And on the exhalation, just see where that pose is living in our bodies. On our next breath in, let's lift our gaze, bend the knees, so pick up the heels and step that right foot through the hands. If it gets caught up along the path, grab that ankle and assist that foot forward. Bring the left knee down, slide the toes away, and come into a kneeling crescent lunge. Take a deep breath. Squeeze the glutes, tuck the tailbone, baby back bend. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, ground down. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Ground down through that front foot. So knee is stacked over that ankle for good alignment. Rise up high on crescent lunge. Take a new breath, squeeze the glutes, tuck the tailbone, take another small back bend. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands meet the mat. Step back, down dog. Pedal the feet. Move a little bit, take what you need. Take another breath and gently breathe into the pose. Inhale, lift the heels, lift the eye gaze, bend the knees as you exhale. Left foot steps through the hands, bring the right knee down, slide the toes away. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, same opportunity, find a little back bend, squeeze the glutes, tuck the tailbone to support the lower back. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands straddle the left foot. Tuck the toes under, lift the back knee. Breathe in, heart and hands come up. Exhale, explore that back bend. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands land, step back, down dog. And move a little bit. See what feels good. Maybe being still at this time is just enough for us. On our next breath in, we're gonna pick up the heels, bend the knees, lift the eye gaze, and we're gonna either jump or walk our feet to the top of our mat. Feet under our hips, let's take a gentle nod of the head, yes. And then take another breath and shake out the head, no. Put a little pressure down into our feet, a little bit of a knee bend here. Inhale, rise up, extend the mountain. Exhale, sit into chair pose. So pull the belly button in, keep the chest lifted, arms extended, and if we need to be here today, or here today, or here today, take those opportunities. Inhale, extend mountain. Exhale, bend the knees, swan dive forward and fold. Relax the back of the neck. So crown of the head is reaching to the mat. Take the hands. You can cup the hands on the mat. If you have a block, go ahead, rest your hands on a block. You can also place your hands on your shins. Breathe in, lift the chest and the belly off the thighs and lengthen through the spine, all the way out through the crown of the head. Exhale, soften and fold. Inhale, soften and bend the knees. Reverse the dive, come all the way up. Exhale into chair. Now see if we can come into this a little bit deeper. So pull the navel in, tuck the tailbone. Weight should be in our heels, so our toes are light in their touch. So try lifting the toes and then just gently placing them back on the mat. Inhale, rise up, extend mountain. Exhale, arms by our sides or arms at our hands at heart center. We're going to move through some sun salutations just to valley into our practice today. So we begin at the top of our mats in mountain. Breathe in, extend those arms overhead. Exhale, bend the knees, swan dive forward, take the fold. Right foot steps back long into the lunge. Inhale to crescent lunge. Exhale, step back, down dog. Take a new breath, tuck the chin, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower to crocodile. Breathe in, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Right foot steps through the hands. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, back foot steps forward to fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale to chair. Let's try that again. Inhale, extend. Exhale, forward fold. Left foot steps back long. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, step back, down dog. Tuck the chin, new breath, come to plank. Exhale, lower to crocodile. Breathe in, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Bend the knees, left foot steps through the hands. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, back foot steps forward to fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, chair. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, soften and fold. Right foot steps back. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, down dog. Let's flow from the toes of the knees, lower to crocodile. Breathe in, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Right foot steps through the hands. Inhale. Exhale, back foot steps forward to fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale to chair. One more. Inhale. Exhale, soften and fold. Left foot steps back long. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, tuck the chin, come forward to plank. Lower to crocodile. Breathe in. Let that breath go. Left foot steps through the hands. Inhale. Exhale, right foot steps forward. We fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale to chair. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, hands by our sides. So, we should be warm. So if you need to shake it out a little bit or just kind of move a little bit, breathe. Take a sip of water if you brought some water with you. Towel off if you're a little bit warm. But then let's move into the heart of our practice. So we come into that second mountain. Again, we begin at the top of our mats. Inhale, extend those arms to the sky. Exhale, bend the knees, gently fold. Right foot steps back to lunge, left foot meets back into downward facing dog. So we begin. Breathe in, right leg to the sky. Let's three-leg that dog. Put a bend in that right knee. Step the right foot into between the hands and pivot that left heel down. Rise up. Come into warrior one. Find the breath. Get nice and tall through the body here. So as we move and breathe here, we want to ground down through that back foot. So the outside edge of that foot is connected to our mat. Nice and tall through the spine, soften the breath. Rest our eye gaze forward. On our next breath in, let's float the hips up, and as we exhale, come into warrior two. So we want to stretch the mat out with our feet. This front knee remains stacked over ankle, arms spread wide open, palms down. Soften and relax the shoulders. Find the breath. On our next breath in, we reach forward from that front hip, right hip, forearm to thigh, left arm to the sky as we extend the side angle. You can place this forearm here. You can send that right hand to the mat or to a block. This left arm, let's see what the shoulder has to give. So take another breath and extend that left arm over the left ear. Take another breath and revolve from the heart center, rolling that left shoulder back. Inhale, stretch that left arm to the sky. Exhale, come back to warrior two. On our next breath in, draw that left hip back, hike it up, and lengthen that front leg. Let's move right into triangle. Inhale. Go long, reach your fingertips to the top of the mat. Hip hinge, we tip from our hip. Wherever that hand lands, allow it to reside. Stretch that arm to the sky. Turn our gaze, maybe look up off of the fingertips. Take another breath. Since the neck is a nice extension of the spine, exhale, turn the head on its axis and look down at our front big toe. Take one more breath. Inhale, soften and bend that front knee. Hands come down, straddle the right foot. Step back into downward facing dog and let's flow. So inhale, come to plank. Exhale, lower to crocodile. Breathe in, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. And if you need to pedal the feet or move a little bit, if that feels good in your body, then take that opportunity to do just that. So we begin again on the other side. So breathe in, left leg to the sky, three-leg that dog. Bend that left knee and look where we're going. We're going to step that left foot through the hands. Pivot that right heel down, ground down through the back foot and rise up. Come into that first warrior, warrior one. Relax the shoulders. Fingers are awake. Eye gaze softens and we find the breath. On our next inhalation, hips float up. Exhale, we use the space on our mat again and we come right back into warrior two. Relax the shoulders. Turn our eye gaze, look off of the top of the fingertips. Breathe. Feel the strength and the energy, not only from the front leg, but from the back leg. So lift the kneecaps, squeeze the glutes, relax, take another breath. Inhale, go long, hinge forward from that hip, forearm to thigh, arm to the sky, extend the side angle. We can stay here. We can change that expression by reaching that hand to a block or a mat, and let's see what's waiting for us in that top shoulder. Take a new breath, exhale, extend that arm over that right ear, and breathe. Inhale again, exhale, roll that right shoulder back and down, revolving from our heart center. Inhale, stretch that arm to the sky. Exhale, warrior two, stay low in the legs. We're feeling some love. Inhale, draw that right hip back. Get the weight off that left leg, wiggle your toes for a moment, plant the toes. Inhale, reach forward from the left hip, lengthen through the waist, and then tip, triangle pose. Stretch the arms away from one another. Keep drawing that right hip back. Find the breath. Inhale, soften that front knee. Hands come down as you exhale. Pick up your back heel. Step that front foot back into down dog and let's flow. Tuck the chin, come forward. Exhale, we lower. Breathe in, up dog or cobra. And exhale, down dog. And again.
Be still. Maybe take a sigh out through the mouth. So take a deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth. Let it go. Beautiful work. Great energy and connection to the breath. On our next breath in, send that right leg up for a reach. 3-leg that dog again. Bend the knee, step the right foot through the hands. Keep the back heel off the mat this time. Inhale, rise up. Crescent lunge. So, sink a little bit into the legs. Squeeze the glutes, tuck the tailbone. Find that back bend, just a little one in our bodies. Lift to the heart center. Soften the eye gaze and connect to the breath. We're going to offer a twist. So take a breath, rise up. Exhale, hinge forward, ground down through that left hand, and then circle sweep that right arm to the sky. Follow that reach up with the fingertips. Hug your right knee in towards your chest. Take another breath. Exhale, gently release. Step that right foot back into down dog. Let's flow. Breathe into plank. Lower to crocodile. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Bend the knee, step the left foot through the hands. Stay up on the back toes here so that heel doesn't come down. Rise up, crescent lunge. Sink into the legs, explore the back bend. Be aware of the breath and quiet the mind. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, we come into twist. Ground down through that right hand, left arm sweeps to the sky. We hug that left knee in toward our body and we find the breath. Inhale and exhale, gently release. Step back, down dog. Tuck the chin, come forward, right through our flow again. Building that heat, balancing out our practice. Beautiful. On our next breath in, let's pick up both heels. Exhale, bend the knees. We're gonna lift the gaze on our next breath in and we're either gonna jump or step our feet to the top of the mat. Land softly. Find the fold. Shake the head out. A little bit of release through the head and the neck. Roll the shoulders out. Soften the arms. Now, ground down through the feet. Bend the knees. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, squeeze the glutes. Palms meet overhead. Baby back bend. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart center or hands by our sides. All right, so let's come into a wide leg straddle. So step wide on your mat. Feet go nice and wide, toes forward, so the outside edges of our feet run parallel to the ends of the mat. Let's wrap the hands behind the back. Lace up the fingers, roll those shoulders back and down, puff the chest open. Deep breath comes in. On the exhalation, gently swan dive forward. Even if those knees are slightly bent, we take the fold. Drop the head, back of the neck nice and long. Reach the knuckles to the sky. Find those additional breaths. Take one more breath. And on the next breath out, go ahead, release the hands. Let the arms come down, roll the shoulders out. Find some new ground here. Maybe we're walking those hands through the legs. If you have a block, if that mat is distant, rest your hands on a block. Maybe we walk those hands through the legs. Find some time here with the breath. Relax your shoulders. On our next breath in, we come up. We go long, so we want to get long through the spine. We ground down through that right hand, so spread the fingers. Bring the left hand to the lower back. Exhale, we twist, rolling that left shoulder open. Give ourselves permission to keep the pose just as it is, or feel free to open that expression by reaching that arm to the sky. Reach and lift. Remember those tiny micro bends in our knees. Take one more breath and then exhale, gently release. Let's take that to the other side. So ground down through that left hand, hand under heart center, right hand to the lower back. Exhale, we twist, rolling that right shoulder open. Stay here if you wish, or change that expression on the next breath out. Reach through the fingertips, nice and long. Inhale and exhale, gently release. Walk heel toe, walk those feet back under our hips. Bend the knees, press down through the feet. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, hands by our sides. Let's come into some balance. So shift that weight into your left leg. Let's prepare for dancer. So we're gonna bend that right knee, catch it from the inside, and then extend that left arm forward. We can stay here. This might be enough for our balance today. We can put a little more knee bend in that standing knee for more stability. Now take a new breath, squeeze the glutes, and start to lift the knee and the thigh upwards. Set your eye gaze on something still. Left arm can be reaching forward, or maybe that changes and grows. Breathe in, rise up, exhale, gently release. Let's give that a go on the other side. So ground down through that right foot. So feel that connectedness. Pull that energy up, weight shift, and then bend that left knee. Catch that left foot from the inside. Extend that right arm to the front of the room. Squeeze the glutes and start to lift the back knee and thigh. A little bit of a hip hinge as that knee and thigh rise. And then maybe we either continue to reach forward or we send that right arm to the sky. Concentrate on the breath. Become still and move it, the breath. Inhale, rise up, and exhale, release. Well done. Shake out those legs a little bit, shake out your arms. Feel good about what we're doing. Let's turn again to the top of our mats. Take a new breath, extend those arms overhead. Exhale, bend the knees, soften and fold. Take a little more knee bend, step the right and the left foot back into downward facing dog. We're gonna take some floor poses now. So on our next breath in, let's send that right leg to the sky. We're gonna bend that knee and we're gonna rotate from the right hip. So square down through the shoulders here. Bring that right knee to the back of that right wrist. Flex your foot as we set up for half pigeon. Most important thing is we want this knee to be comfortable here. So flex foot for stability in the ankle and the knee. Slide that left leg to the back of the mat, toes down. Beautiful. Now, we want to do a little bit of rotation here so we're not just landing on that front hip. So rotate a little bit, lift through the heart center, take a breath. You can stay upright as long as you'd like, or with me, breathe in, and then exhale. We come forward into an extended half pigeon. So maybe we make fists and we rest our forehead on our fists so our shoulders can relax. Find the breath. And then explore. If you comfortably get into this, and remember, if you have a little bit of a gap and you've got your block with you, feel free to tuck that underneath that right hip, but explore using that breath. Maybe we change the direction of that reach a little bit. See what's waiting for us, but be comfortable as we move and breathe. If you'd like, you can walk your hands over to the other side a little bit. Take that reach in a new direction, or just simply be still. On our next breath in, we're going to cross those hands back to center, walk them back into our bodies. We're going to use our hands a little bit. So we want to use the strength in our upper body. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. That's going to release. And we're going to now shift that weight onto that right hip. That's going to release that left leg. We're preparing for a seated twist. You can park that left foot in front of the knee. You can park that left foot across the knee, so you decide, but we want to get those sit bones down and we want to be nice and tall through the spine. And I stay side on so you can see the twist. So take a new breath. We're going to give that knee a hug, and then as we exhale, we're going to look over that back shoulder. So be tall here, chest is open, breath is moving. Find some room. Twists are beautiful in our bodies. Take one more breath. And on the exhalation, come back to center. Let's release. So take that front leg to the back. We're going to use our hands, tuck the back toes. That'll release that right leg. Climb right back up into downward facing dog. Pedal a little bit. Move the hips a little bit. Find some room here. And we're going to try that on the other side. So take a breath, just gently reach those heels, spread those fingers. Pay attention to how down dog now feels in our body. Inhale, left leg to the sky. We're going to bend that knee, and again, we're going to rotate from that left hip, bringing that knee to the back of the wrist. Flex the foot for stability in the ankle and the knee. And we want to bring that right hip around as we settle into this half pigeon. If you need an option and you're taking care of your knees, a couple of things. You can bring this leg back, hip and knees at 90, great option here. Or you can simply take a figure 4 stretch here. You can do that seated or lying down on your back. So just some options if you need it on this side. Does this side feel the same or different? Sometimes we can have those discrepancies in our bodies. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, when you're ready, go ahead and extend forward. So again, we come down. Maybe it's coming to our elbows and forearms. Maybe we're using that block again. Maybe we've got a little bit of a gap underneath that left hip, so feel free to tuck a rolled up blanket or a block underneath that hip. But just come down as comfortably as you can. Find some time here. Relax your brow, maybe even close the eyes, and just stay connected to the breath. Maybe on this side, we're just comfortable being still, but don't forget, if you want to explore a change in direction with the reach, by all means, take it. And if you go to one side, you make sure you try that on the other side, or just take it to that peaceful edge, right? We don't want to force anything. We just want to feel some good sensations so the body is opening and receiving some good movements and feels in each pose. Now just reset, settle back into that nice half pigeon. On our next breath in, we're going to climb back up. We're going to tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, shift that weight onto the left hip. That's going to get that right leg out. Same opportunities here. Park that foot in front of the knee or across the knee. And again, we want to get both hips down. So nice and tall in our bodies. Let's give that knee a hug. And on the exhalation, let's twist. So we turn, follow with that eye gaze. Chest is open, spine nice and tall. And just move the breath. Use that back arm as a second spine. So really lend support here. That's going to help keep the body upright without collapsing through the chest. Give ourselves one more breath. breath. And on the exhale, come back to center. And let's extend those legs and shake them out. Beautiful. We're moving on to our back. So bend one knee, doesn't matter which one. Hook the hands behind the leg and then tuck the tailbone. We're just going to roll on down onto our back side. Hug both knees into the chest, and just for a moment, just be playful here. Just rub the back out a little bit. Roll those hips, rock them from side to side. Very nice. Let's set up for bridge pose to open that body. So we're going to set the feet down about hips width apart. We're going to walk those arms alongside of the body. Take the shoulders down and away from our ears. Notice that we have some space underneath the back of the neck. We want to maintain that nice bit of space there. So take a new breath, and as we lift those hips, I want you to squeeze the glutes. Hips come up, and we find our bridge pose. Can we, if we have a block, we could use that between the knees. But if we're using no equipment, think about squeezing a grapefruit between the knees so that we're not splaying the knees out to the side. Maybe there's a bind today in our practice, so we can walk up onto the shoulders one at a time. Interlace the fingers, maybe opposite thumb on top because we did a chest expansion earlier in class. So if you can remember, maybe place the opposite thumb on top this time around. Find the breath. Take a new breath in, start to unlace the fingers. Walk the shoulders out one at a time and then gently lower the hips. When you feel the hips come down, hug the knees back into the chest and rock those hips gently from side to side. Very nice. Let's release the back of the legs, straighten out, or maybe tent that back knee by keeping it bent. And let's extend that right leg to the ceiling. So we can hold behind the thigh. We can wrap hands behind the calf. We can even walk those hands to the ankles. So just find a place where you can relax your shoulders. Again, you can keep this back knee bent, or we can extend that back leg along the mat. Find some breath here in our hamstrings, some time here to soften and relax. And as we're breathing, start to feel that energy, start to feel things relaxing a little bit more. Hamstrings are softening up. Beautiful. Now bend that knee and let's switch sides. So bring the back knee in. Place that front foot down. Again, start with a bent knee. Extend that left leg up. Same options apply here where you want to place the hands. Is it the same on this side? Does it feel different? You can keep this knee bent, or you can work at extending that front leg along the mat. Relax your shoulders, back of the head is on the mat, and we're using the breath. Yourself one more breath, and then as you exhale, soften that knee, hug both knees into our chest, and rock the hips gently from side to side. Get yourself comfortable for our last couple of minutes here. So if you need to put your socks on, or you have a blanket nearby, you just want to cover up to stay warm, give you some options here as we're lying down in our final relaxation. You can walk your feet out to the outside edges of your mat and just let your knees with bent knees come together. So we're tenting those knees. You can either rest your hands on your belly or rest your hands by your side. You can come into our traditional pose here with the legs extended. Shoulders come down and away. So just take what you need. I'm going to move myself up into a seated position. So take these final moments here to get comfortable and to get still.
whether that is lying down or whether that is seated. Close your eyes, soften the brow. Take another breath, and as we release it, soften the muscles in our face, through the jaw. Breathe into our neck, shoulders. Wash the next breath down our arms, through our wrists, our hands. Feel the fingers and the hands soften. Take another breath. Breathe into our chest, our back, bellies. Move that next breath into our hips, our thighs, our knees, our legs, and right down into the soles of our feet. Take as much time as you need on your own to become still. In your own time, allow that breath to deepen. So if you need to pause and just stay in your place a little longer, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, you're going to start to bring some movement into your fingers, toes. If you're lying down on your back, soften and bend your knees, roll to a side that's comfortable for you, and then slowly bring yourself back up into a seated position. Deep breath in, extend those arms overhead. Exhale, let the hands come to reside at heart center. Thank you for joining me today, sharing our practice. Namaste.